What's the fastest your parents had to rush you to the hospital? I was sitting in the living room eating chocolates I found when my mom yelled, "Are you eating those chocolates?" "Yeah," I said, looking up from the couch where I'd been watching cartoons, my fingers still covered in melted chocolate. Mom's face went from confused to absolutely horrified in about half a second. "Oh my god! Oh my god!" She was actually shaking, staring at the half-empty box of fancy chocolates on the coffee table. "How many did you eat?" "How many? Like 5 or 6? You had a whole box of them." But she wasn't listening anymore. She was already screaming for Dad. "Get in here now!" Dad came running from his office so fast he slipped on the hallway rug, and when he saw me with chocolate on my face and Mom pointing at the box with a trembling hand, his eyes went wide. "No, no, no! Tell me he didn't! He ate them! He ate at least 5!" Mom was practically hyperventilating now. Dad grabbed the box, read something on the bottom, and actually had to sit down on the arm of the couch. I didn't mean to leave them there. I thought they were in our bedroom. I specifically hid them in our bedroom. "What's wrong with the chocolate?" I asked, but my voice came out all squeaky because they were scaring me so bad. Mom was pacing back and forth, muttering things like, "He's only 10, and who knows what this could do to him. Maybe it won't be that bad," Dad said, but he didn't sound like he believed it. "Maybe at his age, his body won't." "Are you kidding me right now?" Mom screamed so loud that my sister came running downstairs. She took one look at the scene, me covered in chocolate, Mom crying, Dad looking like he might throw up, and the fancy box on the table, and her jaw literally dropped open. "Mom! You bought these?" She picked up the box, read the label, and started laughing, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was the kind of laugh people do when they can't believe something terrible is happening. "From that store? Oh my god, Mom!" Mom snatched the box away from her. "We're going to the hospital right now," and that's when I started crying because hospital meant dying. "Am I gonna be okay?" I sobbed, but Mom just kept saying, "You'll be fine, baby. You'll be fine," in that voice parents use when they're lying. Dad carried me to the car even though I could walk fine, and Mom drove so fast she ran 2 red lights. My sister sat in the back with me, and she kept looking at her phone and making these choking sounds. "This isn't funny," Dad snapped at her. "Your brother could—" I know," she said, but she was biting her lip so hard I thought it would bleed. "It's just when his friends find out—" "Find out what?" I cried, but Mom just drove faster. "You're too young to understand, sweetie. Just breathe, okay?" But how could I breathe when everyone was acting like I'd swallowed rat poison or something? We screeched into the emergency room parking lot, and Mom practically dragged me inside, yelling about a pediatric emergency, which made everyone in the waiting room stare at us. The nurse at the desk looked bored, until Mom leaned in and whispered something in her ear. I couldn't hear what she said, but whatever it was made the nurse's eyes go so wide I could see white all around them. Oh, how many did he consume? She was already pushing buttons, calling for a doctor, making me sit in a wheelchair even though my legs worked fine. They rushed me back to a room and started hooking me up to machines, heart monitor, blood pressure, oxygen thing on my finger, while the nurse kept asking me questions about how I felt. Any tingling, flushing, racing thoughts, unusual sensations? I didn't even know what half those words meant. The doctor came in, this older woman who looked at my chart, looked at my parents, looked at me, and then had to turn away because I swear she was trying not to smile. "The good news is he's completely fine." "What were they?" I yelled because I still didn't understand why everyone was acting so weird. The doctor cleared her throat and looked at my parents, who both looked like they wanted to disappear into the floor. They were freaky chocolates," my sister yelled. They were so embarrassed even the nurse laughed at them.